Everybody, it's your girl Sister Sam here, and I just want to give you all a little tutorial on how to make collard greens. Good old-fashioned collard greens. Well, the first thing you need is collard greens. These are 3 bunches of collard greens washed twice, and I have them sitting in a bowl just waiting. My meat here is 8 ounces of smoked jowls, and all I did was cut it up. But you can use salt pork. They kind of serve the same purpose. I got about 3 pounds of smoked turkey meat. So I got turkey wings and turkey tails. The tails actually is a very fatty part of the turkey, so it makes good juice for the collard greens. You're gonna need 1 large onion cut up, 1 cup of vinegar, a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 3 tablespoons of regular salt, and 1 cup of brown sugar. You can use light brown or dark brown. That's your choice. First thing you want to do is add your smoked jowls to your pan and get it, nice and crispy like you're cooking bacon. And this usually takes a little while. So you're going to spread them out evenly in the pot. And yes, I just added a little oil in there just as a starter, so that they can go ahead and start. And in the meantime, while that is going, until that is completely cooked, like I said, it needs to be the consistency of bacon as if you would eat your bacon. Until that is completely cooked, then we'll add the rest of the ingredients after that. And this is the consistency that you want your smoked jowls or your salt pork to be, as if you were eating bacon. So it's nice and crunchy, and that's what you want. And once they're done, you can just push it off to the side. And once you push it off to the side, you're gonna add you 1 large onion. And what I did was, I just simply diced it up like that. Nothing fancy. By the time the collard greens cook, they're gonna cook up to pretty much nothing anyway. And they're gonna be barely noticeable, but the onions give it a really, really, really nice smoky flavor to your collard greens. And that's what you want. Once you get your onions in there, and they're nice and caramelized, your temperature should be like a medium high at this point. I had it on a medium while I was doing the smoked jowls because I didn't want them to burn. So, take your time when doing that. Sometimes it takes a little longer, but at the end of the day, you don't want it to burn. So this is what you want. And what this does is you're caramelizing your onions. You're allowing your onions to caramelize into the bacon fat. And I'm telling you, it makes a really, 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 really nice flavor. To the caramelization, you want to add your half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. And you can add 1 teaspoon of black pepper. You're going to add, just a pinch of salt at this point. The rest of the salt you'll add as you add in your layers of your collard greens. So right now, just a little salt. Now, this is a very critical stage for the sugar. Right about now, as your seasoning is coating your onions, this is the time you want to add in your brown sugar. And like I said, this is 1 cup of brown sugar. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. If I had smell-o-vision, you guys, I mean, really, this is, now you're going to just mix everything together. And you're going to get this nice candy type coating. And this is your base for your turkey. Because at the end of the day, you want that turkey to have a nice, sweet, smoky flavor to it. So, this is the time now you want to add your meat. Turkey wings washed. You don't have to do anything else to them. Turkey tails. And everything is smoked. Smoked turkey tails, smoked turkey wings. You just add them to the pot. And all they're doing is absorbing the flavor of the brown sugar, the onions, and the bacon. So you're just gonna let that chill out for just a little while, and then we're gonna add some water to it. Just a little for now until we add all of the collard greens in, and then we'll add the rest of the water. Okay, now at this point, we've got the smoked turkey meat, nice and absorbed with the brown sugar, glaze is what I like to call it. And at this point, we're just gonna add 4 cups of water. And we're just gonna give that a little stir. And at this point, what you can do is you can, at this point, start layering your salt. And start to incorporate your greens into the dish. And like I said, you know, greens, you have to wash them more than once, which these are washed twice. And you know, and don't get yourself all in a knot because you say, oh, I got too many collard greens and not enough room in the pot. Well, the collard greens are going to cook down. So this is about the point where I say add more salt in. Okay, and basically that's what you're doing here. And I've got a big pot, but you know, I know most of you don't have a big pot like this, and that's okay. Just allow them to cook down at first, and then go ahead and just keep adding as they cook down, because collard greens take a while to cook. You know, I know people who cook them in 30 minutes. I don't know how they manage that, but y'all call me, because I don't know about that. You know, that's just something special. But at this point, you can go ahead and add you 1 cup of vinegar. And I just like to pour it over. You know, no big deal. And at this point, we simply eyeball it here. And you know, and what I'm doing is I'm checking the level of the water, which is why I say you add the majority of the water at the end, because I just want to check and see how much water I have, because it just depends. You know, you can't really put a set amount of water. Okay, well, I'm going to put 12 cups of water into some greens, it doesn't always work that way. So this is actually about 12 cups of water right here. And remember, I already added 4 cups of water. So I don't think I need that much water. I just want enough water to about right here, which is halfway at the pot. But again, this is a huge pot, so I may end up needing that much. So I'm just gonna pour the water until I see it to where it's at that line. Which it looks like I'm almost there, but not quite. So I'm just gonna add water until I get there. Oh, I'm still quite under, so yes, I'm going to need the entire 12 cups of water. And like I said, it just depends on your pot. You know, this is going to cook down. And as it's cooking down, throughout the process, you're going to want to, you know, taste your greens for flavor. You know, all recipes need to be adjusted. You may need to add more salt. You may need to add more sugar. You may need to add more vinegar. You're just tasting for consistency, because I can say I put 1 cup of vinegar, but then, you know, as it gets towards the end, and sometimes it also depends on the cut of collard greens, you may get a bitter bunch, you know, so that makes a difference. You know, the vegetable that you have in here could be very, very bitter, and you may have to really alter it a lot. So you take that into consideration when you're doing your collard greens. But we're gonna go ahead and let that simmer. We're gonna leave it on for about an hour, and we'll check on it in an hour. All right, well, here we are at an hour interval, and we're gonna just go ahead and check on the greens. Now this is what they look like after about an hour. They cooked down quite a bit. As you can see, they were well up to the top. So now they've cooked down a bit. And so we just want to check them to see where we are with the water. And, you know, this seems like a lot of water, but I guarantee you, this water is going to cook down. You know, and there are ways when you feel like you've got too much water, you can crack the lid on the pot. And you can turn the fire up a little bit, and the water will evaporate out. So we're gonna let it go another hour. Hey, I'm back. Greens have been cooking now for about 3 hours. Not much stirring or anything, and as you can see, the meat is nice and tender. So this is where we are. We're at like the 30-minute stretch of them really being completely done. The water has gone down tremendously. Like I said, crack the lid and you'll be fine. Now, this is completely optional. It's not required. Some people don't prefer okra. However, I love okra. And I love okra in my collard greens. So, again, optional. You don't have to do this. But you just take you some okra, and all I did was cut the tips off of them. And all you're going to do is just lay them on the top. And that's about it. And you're just going to let that go for, you know, 30 minutes. All you're doing is letting the okra absorb the flavor of the collard greens, and they're really done. Okra doesn't take that long to cook. They were frozen okra, so, you know, that's fine, frozen fresh. But, you know, another 30 minutes and this pot is completely done. Well, how can we find you? Well, it's interesting you say that. You can hit me up at Sista Sam's gmail.com. Now, don't forget, if you like this video, make sure to like me on Facebook, like me on Twitter at Sista Sam's, and also subscribe to these lovely videos. More will be coming your way. Have a good one. Thank you.